Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Could I have a 3-minute clock, please?
We can't quite adjust it, but I appreciate your determination towards that goal.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, there's been a lot of rhetoric today. We've heard quite a bit from both sides of the aisle, and I hope to offer a little bit of a fresh perspective. I'm going to say right up front, this is not a perfect budget. In fact, I offered some amendments to the budget. In fact, I think I offered more amendments to this budget than any other Republican member. Certainly, there were a number of amendments offered from the other side of the aisle as well, and this is all part of the process. Now, the first rule when you're submitting amendments to the budget is this: if you add a dollar to one line item, you have to take it from another line item. All of my amendments were fully funded from elsewhere in the budget because we have to have a balanced budget. But many of the amendments offered, particularly some by the other side, were not funded. They added funds to various line items without stating where the money is going to come from. Now, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion, this is simply being disingenuous. I'd love to add money to line items in the budget without saying where the money is going to come from. I'd love to spend money out of thin air, but that would be reckless. That would be the type of reckless spending that we see in Washington, D.C. And we can see the results of Washington-style budgeting. It sure is fun to spend money you don't have, but $16 trillion in national debt shows the fallacy of this type of governing. And I'd like to echo the comments of the good gentleman from Monroe County. We've heard quite a bit today about education funding in this budget and what kind of priorities this budget sets, but we haven't talked enough about the fact that this budget puts over $1 billion with a B dollars for the first time into PSERS, the pension fund for school teachers. Have we talked about the fact enough that if this budget is passed, the state will put roughly the same amount into PSERS during the first 3 years of the Corbett administration as we did during the entire 8 years of the Rendell administration? Now, I'm sure it would be more politically expedient to follow the example of the previous governor and shirk our responsibilities to the state pension funds and use that money elsewhere to boost spending, but it would also be the height of irresponsibility. At the end of the day, this budget is fully balanced. It fully funds the state's contribution to CSRS and PSERS. There's no new debt, and it does not lay any new state taxes onto the people of Pennsylvania. That is a tremendous accomplishment, and I tip my hat to the gentleman from Delaware County, the Majority Appropriations Chairman, and his staff on a solid budget to the people of Pennsylvania. I encourage an affirmative vote. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.